Is that how you start?
Sounds good.
That's how you start.
Did that sound good? Was that a little
A little echoey.
ASMR?
What are you drinking there?
Spindrift, man. That's what I always drink.
Soda water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real lime. No fake shit. I've done 2 commercials in this.
Do you believe in the soda water, the bloating aspect and it dehydrating you and you having to have X amount more water to stay hydrated?
I have enough
They
gas,
talk about that a lot.
like bloat. Like to me, carbonation, any carbonation,
Yeah.
like if you just let the air out, you did not bloat it.
It's debloated.
No wonder, Chad.
It's debloat. I've got a debloat function with my body that I don't think I'm worried about the bloat from the carbonated beverage.
Oh, all right.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe it makes you more thirsty, but like
I think it does me. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
you.
me
It
too.
makes me a
I don't
little
feel
more thirsty.
refreshed after.
Yeah.
no, but they taste delicious.
They're
I think this kind is better.
I don't mind them with a meal, but I'm not just going to drink them random.
Oh, the bubbles feel good in my lips. My
Uh-huh.
teeth. It's like a cleansing with a palate.
You got a fascination there, don't you?
Yeah,
The
man,
chapstick and
listen, this is like I'm on freaking TV now. I got to keep something going.
what TV are you on?
The YouTube with this show. Although I have a complaint. I believe Matt
I'm
was-
waiting for your rant. You got one?
today. Do I have a rant?
Well, you want to get our guest introduced, Chad?
Yeah, you can go.
Lindsey Lance is with us today. Thank you for joining us, Lindsey.
Sure.
We appreciate it. Lindsey is from Cincinnati originally, right?
That's right.
Relocated to Nashville for grad school?
Right before grad school.
Right
So I've been
before
here
grad
15 years.
Okay.
Long time.
15 years is almost a local.
I know.
Yeah, you've almost made it there.
I know.
It is.
Yeah.
You want to tell us just a little bit about yourself, Lindsey, what you do?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm the VP of IT at a healthcare company called Upperline Health.
Okay.
Really, I think I'm the acting CIO.
I feel like that too.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
And I act really well. So
Yeah.
most of IT falls under me. So it's not actually my background. I have an accounting degree and then an MBA, and then my experience has really been mostly in data engineering and analytics. And then came to Upperline, kind of took a risk on them. They took a risk on me, and it's been a really fun journey learning even more about IT. So I have a good time.
So why do you think they took a risk on you?
They had an open role for a VP of IT. The previous VP had way more traditional IT experience than I did. And so when they called me to interview, I was pretty surprised because I did not have any experience with networks, minimal cybersecurity experience. I absolutely avoid hardware. So it's pretty much what I led with too when I walked in for the interview. So I think that that's kind of risky to say we want somebody over all of this who doesn't have this experience. But I think what they were looking for was leadership and an initiative to just try and figure it out and help out, which is what I bring.
I would say that sometimes it's refreshing. You say that they take a chance, but it's sometimes refreshing to have somebody that isn't already jaded by years of experience, so their mind is not necessarily made up about certain things and like narrow-minded and narrow focused. So if you take a chance on somebody, I think it can pay off handsomely with somebody who isn't jaded and is willing to go seek help and get help from other sources. So
Yeah. I would bet to say that Lindsey's maybe younger than us. Probably a good chance of it. So
I'm not as old as I look.
the reason why I say that is I think we're seeing a change of tide in leadership, right? When it comes to the corporate world.
I think so.
When you and I were 20, 30-year-old sales guys, we were selling to the 60-year-old.
The old dudes.
It
was always men of a certain age that we were always, if it was depending on whether it was the C-suite or, we come from a technology background. So it was always a dude. It was almost like rinse and repeat. You were dealing with the same person. Just they look different every time.
I think in IT it's still pretty well like that.
I think you're right.
Most of the vendor events I show up to, I'm definitely one of the only women there. But I am pretty lucky in my job. We have actually a lot of women leaders. So
At Upperline.
At Upperline, yes.
Lindsey, you talked a little bit about being from Cincinnati, being in Nashville now with Upperline. What was it like for you growing up in Cincinnati?
Well, normal. I didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Lindsey to come out. There she is.
Being that you've lived in both cities now, do you favor Cincinnati still more?
They're very different. I love going home and I love visiting.
Yeah.
It has a ton of rich history there that I've always loved. I love character and history. I still root for everything Cincinnati in sports.
Yeah.
So did not make the jump to anything Nashville except for the Predators.
There you go.
Yeah. So I think what I like about Cincinnati is that it maintained their history, because I think that there's a lot of honoring and roots when you do that. And Nashville, I think, hasn't done as much of that for many, many reasons. And I guess maybe as I get older, I don't like to see so much change in where I feel like I want to maintain some type of a root and a foundation. But Nashville is really fun, and I think that the more people move here, the more of a melting pot of culture and people and experiences and dynamics exist here. So I think that I've really grown more as a person here. Of course, I've been an adult here longer than I was an adult there, so I'm sure that plays into it too. So I think they each have their charm. And I'm happy to have the ability to travel between both, and so I don't really have to choose.
And it's close.
Yeah.
It's fairly close.
5 hours or so.
One of the coolest
About 5.
views, Cincinnati may not get enough credit for coming down the hill from Kentucky at night to the city of Cincinnati lit up.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, the cut in the hill.
It really is.
Very
It's
pretty.
like, man,
They got a great downtown.
Yeah, Cincinnati's downtown is really cool.
Visually.
Yes.
I don't know about, I haven't been downtown much.
The Reds ballpark is cool.
Yeah.
That was one of the first ballparks that I had gone to that had like the grocery store type, concessions, or like the gas station, I guess, with Kroger being there and being such a big sponsor. I was like, well, this is really cool. You can go and, grab a beer out of the cooler and just go to the checkout. It's like, that was new at the time going there, but yeah, Cincinnati's cool. I have a bunch of Cincinnati questions for you later on when we do the rapid fire stuff, because I told Jason what a big sports fan that you are, and I find Cincinnati sports interesting because their fan base is so devout, and it's been a minute since there's been success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a great history though.
Yeah, but
I grew up a Reds fan personally.
Well, it's it's one of those fan bases that I don't know, I appreciate a lot because they still show up, especially living here, right? So this is, mark my word, we're what are we? Halfway through October, and the Titans have not been good. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Titans fans will quit going.
Oh yeah. Well, especially with the traffic, right? Or the lack of parking.
Yeah, they will quit going.
Yeah.
Cincinnati fans still go.
Yeah.
They're similar to Steelers fans, or it's all the rivals, right? It's Browns fans. It's
But I think you're also hitting on the character of the cities. Those were all industrial built, blue collar cities, and what remains the same out of all three of those actually is resiliency.
Yeah.
And really fighting back and coming back hard. And I think that's a testament to people that grew up there, and I'd like to think that I've taken that with me as I've grown.
Yeah.
Nashville's such a transient city, it's just
It
different.
is.
I don't know if they did establish a little bit of a fan base in the beginning, but it's changed, right?
I don't
see
know.
more opposing fans than you do.
You do.
A lot of times.
Unfortunately, I think it is. We look at the Titans and I say a new franchise, but I would still consider. In terms of the league, they're still a new franchise, right? So they don't have the same history as some of the other organizations. But mean, you and I are prime examples. We didn't grow up with the Titans. We got the Titans our junior or senior year of high school. So it wasn't like we got to be kids. Now there are kids today that are going to grow up and have this organization as, the one.
Yeah.
So I think I hope that we will see that kind of devout fan.
They have to be good too at the same time.
But they've got to be good.
Yeah. They got to be better than what they are.
And they're also competing, I don't want to say that the SEC is better than everybody else, but they're competing with college football.
Yeah.
They are.
In the Southeast. They just are. So I think that's hard.
And more than that, I think that in America, we always like to root for the underdog, somebody with a story.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that is the Bengals.
Well, yeah. I don't think they're the underdog anymore.
No, but throughout we've built fan base though, because we have been the underdog and we fought back. I mean, look how many people celebrated Vanderbilt beating Alabama. Yeah. It's an underdog story.
Yeah, even people who...
I was proud of it, and I'm not a Vandy fan.
Yeah, I am.
Go Vandy.
I am definitely not a Vanderbilt fan, but I am...
But I saw you under the goalpost, I think.
I like their quarterback, though, that Diego guy.
I like anybody that beats Alabama.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the American story.
Anybody.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit. We could talk about sports all day.
I will.
Obviously, with Chad here.
Yeah.
So you said accounting background, right? But you got into IT.
Yeah.
What's it been like for a young female IT leader in Nashville?
Well, I think my personal story, I suppose, is all over the place. I think there's been moments of normalcy, moments that I felt really supported, and then moments where I felt very isolated. I don't know if that's true of male leaders. Mm-hmm. I think that there have definitely been some situations and some events where I'm the only woman there, and some of the
only woman, like from a leadership standpoint,
or just there, especially IT networking events.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Are not well represented, I would say, and it doesn't feel very good to walk into the room and you're the only person who looks like you, who is a sole representative of your demographic. And I've for certain been mistreated multiple times, and I don't know if other people have that experience. So
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I don't know if men have that experience. That is my point.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's. I think that sometimes people think women in IT, they automatically go to this point of, you are a minority in this space, you probably are mistreated or not respected. And there are moments of that, but I don't think that is a accurate representation of my career and of my experience, because there are just as many places where I have been respected, sought after, and felt like I was a part of whatever was going on, and I had a seat at the couch. So I'd like to think that my experience really has been fairly normal, with just moments of uncomfortable situations. But like I said, being from Cincinnati, I'm quite resilient. So I just fight back and move on, and lean on mentors and relationships that are supportive. And a lot of times too, and especially maybe as I've gotten older, I've really come to the conclusion that how I'm being treated by these people are more so a reflection of them and not me. So I really don't, it does not bother me like it used to.
Isn't that...
You develop some thick skin.
I don't know if it's the thick skin part though. I think it's really surpassing that tinge of, oh, that hurt me. It didn't even bother me because it's a reflection of that person's ignorance.
Isn't that like true even outside of the workplace? Wouldn't you say that, like, when stuff like that goes on, whenever folks look down on somebody else because of the way they look or their social status or whatever, a lot of times that's probably more to do with that person than it is the person being...
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like that. A lot of times it's, sometimes those that are self-conscious about certain things, they want to project, certain thought or feeling or, treat Lindsey a certain way because maybe I'm actually intimidated by Lindsey, that she might, that this girl might be better at her job than I am. Yeah. I see that sometimes.
Lindsey is really intimidating. Very much so.
She could be.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
With my Kate Spade purse.
Yeah, with her Kate Spade purse and her ponytail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you ever go back and think, what if I stayed in accounting at all? Has that been a thought of yours at all?
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit?
No. Even in accounting, I was like, how do I get out of accounting?
That's awesome. So you knew, at what point in college or after college you knew you wanted to be in IT?
I didn't. I'm not even sure that it was that early. I think that I just landed in IT.
It found her.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of just landed there and looked up and went, oh, I am in IT. My first job, though, out of college was pretty entry level, kind of data entry work. And I just worked really hard and tried to get out of the work by automating it. And so I was outperforming everybody at my level. And that really got me some positive attention. And I decided, I had a really good boss at the time who really allowed me to choose my career path. And I really liked putting together reports for him. And so I was like, is this a career? Is this reporting and getting data for your spreadsheets and PowerPoint a career? And he was like, sure. It sounds like data and analytics. So started down that path and just kept going. And then looked up one day and I'm in an IT department now. So
awesome. That's a good story. So you've been a leader in a previous role before Upperline too. Mm-hmm. I take it, right?
Yeah.
A couple different roles.
Mm-hmm.
Describe to me what is Lindsey's leadership style?
Okay. I would say that I'm hands off in the sense that I do not have the time or the bandwidth or the desire to micromanage you. So I want to hire really smart people who I can trust to fill gaps that we have, especially my knowledge gap and experience. So I'm very collaborative. Being in data engineering, I always worked in agile teams. So we had a really awesome scrum master and we were just very collaborative. It was that continuous improvement workflow and mindset of let's try this, let's learn from it, let's try again. And I take that into my leadership style of I do not punish mistakes, I punish lack of initiative.
Yeah.
So I
love that. Yeah.
I lead, I think, collaboratively, but also willing to do anything if it helps the team. I've called hundreds of numbers actually this year because we were trying to locate out of thousands of phone numbers that we had, which ones were ringing in the right place. I could have just assigned that out and said, do this on your own time, but I said, give me a portion, I'll call.
Show an initiative as a leader that you can be in the trenches and do it too.
Yeah. When it helps the team and it helps the cause, and I can pick up and shovel it and dig too.
Absolutely. I think every leader has to do that, show by example. For sure. Right?
Or be a part of the team.
Yeah.
Not
separate a team more than a dictatorship, right?
Yeah. I mean, to like Lindsey said, to be in the trenches and to like, hey, I don't mind doing that. That goes a long way, for sure.
Absolutely.
I had a lot of good leaders though that showed me that along the way. So I've learned that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I was curious to know what your leadership style was.
She's not a dictator.
No, it does not sound like Lindsey's a dictator.
Not at work.
Not at work. Lindsey, take the trash out.
You mentioned reporting and the analytical side of what you do and kind of your background there. What do you think from a reporting analytical side? How do you think AI is going to change healthcare? And what are you seeing right now with AI?
I think what I'm seeing right now is more so trends. People want to do it because somebody else is doing it.
Because it's cool.
Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot of people that don't really know what they want to get out of it still try to institute it. So I think that's the worrisome part to me, is that people are going to waste time and money and resources just trying to say that we have AI, but you don't know what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
But I do think that there are positive uses of AI that some people really are capturing, especially when you find out and take the time to realize what efficiencies can we gain here and therefore turn around and actually use it. So I know that it's used very positively with analyzing, just even breaths taken on the phone and their tone. Because it helps the agent determine if you're in a stressful situation or measuring your breaths, and I think that there's something going on. This is more serious than you're just a little uptight. So I think that things like that have a really powerful use case eventually.
Jason and I met with a company yesterday that I think that their use of AI could be transformative for companies. Just their story. It's all the different dialects that they go. And I jokingly, I think Lindsey's heard me. AI doesn't always understand me.
Yeah.
I've got this smooth, buttery voice, and it doesn't always understand me.
You're not talking as country as you normally do, though.
Am I not?
I don't think so.
I'm more professional with
the chapstick.
It's the chapstick. And
it's the
soda
chapstick
water.
and the soda water.
The soda water. Yeah, you give me a Miller Lite and it changes. Yeah, maybe not a Miller Lite. Maybe it needs to be a Busch
And you
Light.
need your boots on too.
Yeah, maybe it's the Air Maxes that have got me a little off my game.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Where were you going with your story, Chad?
Yes. Sorry. It's squirrel time. Jason got me. I'm like, wow.
The AI conversation on the voice technology.
So I think we're in a position in our world every day that we are trying to look at AI and how it can benefit our clients. And sometimes the water is muddy, right? Like everybody has an AI product.
Yeah, is that company just trying to push us on something that's really not beneficial?
Exactly.
For the end buyer, right?
Exactly. So we're like in this where you're like, hey, are we just doing AI just to do AI? We're sitting here being pitched these different AI products, and we're like, what differentiates you? Like what makes your product better than the others? And I think we met with one yesterday that I think, you actually came up in the conversation because I was like, Lindsey could be interested in this because it doesn't seem like bullshit, right? It's like a real product.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it'll be good for us.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about, speaking of AI, what do you think about the new robots from Tesla? Have you seen those? Did you see those come out last week?
Them.
I've seen a lot of reels and a lot of memes about said robot. I mentioned it to my wife after I saw it, and I'm like, what do you think of this, honey? Would you like to have one of these, to water the flowers and to do all
give
the
us
things?
coffee? She's like, no, we're not having one of those in the house.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing with the robot. I don't need the robots to do things that I enjoy. I enjoy watering my plants.
You need it to go to work
food.
and be Lindsey.
Exactly. I need the robot to go to work for me so that I can do the things that I want to do. I don't really like concerts very much. I don't like crowds and people.
I gotcha. I completely understand.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we get along, because I'm not
Chad's
a crowd.
the same way.
I cannot stand a crowd and people. Haley says that she will not go to a concert unless she gets the sweet experience anymore.
I know. Once you've had it.
Yeah.
It's tough to go back.
And I'm kind of that way. We got invited to a couple concerts last year, and it was like Nissan Stadium with a parking pass and the suite, and you didn't have to sit amongst the common folk.
You always tell me that you're not bougie, and then you have 18 stories just like this one.
He is
I'm
definitely
not
bougie.
bougie.
Yeah, you are. You're bougie.
I don't think I'm bougie.
Okay.
This is where people come
From the outside looking in, you might be
Chad
bougie.
What makes me bougie?
What you just said.
That I don't want to go to a crowd? I feel like I'm...
Except for this experience that you've already had, this private,
It was free.
sweet experience.
It was free.
You don't have to tell me how you
I'm
get
free
your...
bougie.
All right, back to the...
I think there's a word for that.
What?
Whoring.
Whoring.
I didn't have to perform.
Chad's a hoorer.
Maybe a whore. Yeah, maybe.
We were talking about the robot. So Lindsey said, I just want a robot to do my job where I can enjoy the things that I want to do.
Exactly.
Water the flowers. I would like to have a robot to do laundry. How about that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I would have him do that.
To fold the laundry.
To fold, if they got to put it up too, though.
Yeah, fold and put it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't mind actually putting it in the machine. To put the dirty laundry
Yeah,
in
I
the
get it.
machine.
I get it.
Like I actually kind of enjoy that part. Like, hey, look, this is dirty. It's going
Kind
in
of
there.
almost like washing the car. You're putting the sponge in the bucket.
Yes, and you don't even have to rub the car.
Yeah.
So pitch. I guess. Yeah.
Just
That's another thing. Wash your car for
I'll get
you.
the sponge wet, but I'm not rubbing it.
yeah, I'm not rubbing it.
So 30, 40 years from now, Chad's retired. You're, I don't know, kicking back on the beach with Haley. Are you going to have a robot in your house, Chad?
No.
Oh, I
No.
will, because it will exclusively be to give me massages.
A massage bot?
Yes, 100%.
But you're going to have to pay an extra 10 grand for the massage bot because it's got like special hands and
That's
everything.
fine.
You good with that?
But that's a whole nother. So, trying to watch a football game last night on Amazon Prime, that was horrendous. You know, you get all the movies that are on there. Megan Fox is in a movie where she's an AI robot. I might want the
Is
robot.
that newer? I don't know.
Yeah, it was. You had to pay for it to watch.
Oh, okay.
Like it was like in theaters or just out of theaters. So
Megan Fox in a pay-per-view movie.
no, it wasn't pay per view. It wasn't. That's pretty good. No, it wasn't pay per view. It was like like you pay $5 and watch it like it's the
It's a
theater.
new release.
Yeah, new release. And she is like the AI, and the husband like falls in love with a robot or something.
Oh.
I'm sure it's a riveting plot.
That's
line.
going to happen in the future.
Yeah, but based on what I saw with the Tesla robot, I'm not falling in love with that thing.
So Lindsey, from a female perspective, let's say you're not married.
I'm hesitant to take a drink.
You get the robot that doesn't talk back, that gives you massages when you want a massage, washes dishes. Could that realistically take a husband's place in the future?
Probably.
I mean, depending on the person.
I feel like, yes, depending on the person for
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah.
those roles are not why I have a husband.
But to some people, right, it could.
I guess. And maybe those are the people that should.
Maybe that's the people that buy the robot.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. To your point, in the
Yeah.
future, if 20% of the households end up getting a robot, which is probably likely,
Yeah.
and 30, 40, 50
10%
years.
of that is just people looking for a companion.
Yeah.
I love that because then they're not procreating.
Preach, sister. There's a whole segment of the U.S. population that I wish would have got a robot a long time ago.
True.
I'm not going to say which segment, but maybe they should have got a robot a long time ago.
But I mean, we're going there with AI. They're also, I think Tesla announced that they're going to have the cars, right? The driveless, selfless cars.
I mean, the car already has enough self-driving features. We spent some time in San Francisco, and there are so many taxis that are self-driving.
Yeah.
I'm taking one.
I didn't take one. I watched it and was like, I feel like I could screw
that's
that
weird.
thing up. Yeah, I feel like I could mess that thing up.
I would love it to just be able to sit back, do your work, whatever, and you just it takes you where you need to go.
But Haley's brother, Brandon, said he was like, look, when they first came out, like they weren't great. Like they were crashing and hitting things, but like now they have virtually no problems out of the things. They just go and they drive and they drop people off. And I don't know, man. I wouldn't want maybe this is another insight into who I am. I don't want a self-driving car at all. I do not desire.
Not now, not here. In this
Never.
area.
Never. I enjoy driving.
You enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah, like I enjoy driving a vehicle.
So AI is going to eventually take jobs away.
I think so.
I think we could all probably say that's accurate. Would you agree with that, Lindsey? You think it
Yeah,
will?
I think it'll take opportunities away. I mean, I was a junior developer at one point and had to grow into a more senior developer. And nobody really, I think, wants to pay a junior developer anymore because AI can do some of that work. And so I think that you're going to take away opportunities for somebody to come into a role with little to no experience and then learn under a senior engineer. And so when you eliminate those opportunities, then you're really eliminating, I think, eventual roles. Because now all of a sudden, there's no opportunity to grow into a senior.
Yeah.
So
I think the thing that excites me about AI, not necessarily maybe taking a job away. There's going to be jobs that are always going to be needed that AI is not going to take away. But if you could create 3 Lindseys instead of just her, like in that situation, we've all heard the statement, "I wish there was 3 of you or 2 of you," right? I think that's pretty exciting, right? Maybe that's not a good thing. I don't know. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts. But if Lindsey had a AI robot that could train and learn how she does things,
or I almost think even along the lines of maybe not a robot, but an AI or software driven AI that can help complete the mundane things, the reporting that you have to do every day, the simple task, respond to certain emails. And
I think we're kind of already there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
In a way, I think we are, but
it's not 100% full-fledged automation.
Automated.
You still got to push a button or two, right?
Yeah.
But I think we'll be there
soon. I think we will see that more. And maybe it does lend itself to a more productive work environment. I don't know. We're in this world and I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
I can't stand calling into a call center and it be the AI thing. And I'm like, just let me talk to a person.
Lindsey, in healthcare in general, what would you say the percentage of conversation right now is between care versus technology, with technology advancing so much and being a huge piece of healthcare?
I'm not sure that I am closest to it to give a good answer to that, since most of my conversations are about technology, not so much care. But I guess I would be worried about a healthcare company that talked more of technology and less about care.
Yeah.
Since at the end of the day, they do need to give care. And technology really should only be a tool to how they give care. So hopefully it's focused on care and how technology
That's a
can
great
help.
answer.
That's pretty profound.
I've checked out your guys' app. You guys have put a lot of development in your app as far as appointments, automation around your app, right? And how you get folks into your facilities. Has that been a huge part of your team from a development standpoint, or is that a different department?
So I think most projects at Upperline are a lot of people coming together and getting it done. So that was a few people on my team, a few people within operations and the strategic teams. So it was really a group effort of them.
I said app. I meant web page, but same thing.
Same
right?
thing. At this point, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I noticed that there a lot. It was really good, really easy. A lot of development in it. So I think for the future of healthcare, the way I see it is, how are you going to make it easier for the now 20, 30-year-old, 40-year-old that's grown up with an iPhone to find a facility, schedule appointment, get auto updates on that appointment, right? Click back in, get their prescription very easily, right? All those things.
How do you guys address telemedicine? Is that something that you guys do at Upper
A
Line?
little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
We have a line of business called Upperline Plus, where if you are a part of this particular care program, you can do telehealth visits with a nurse practitioner. But it is not just for anybody with an ingrown toenail to just decide that they want to.
Yeah, I would say that would be
visit.
hard to, maybe not hard to diagnose over video, but hard to treat over video.
I would think so.
Yeah, I think you could see it, be like that.
Chad knows a little bit about podiatry, right? Podiatrist.
I know a little bit about podiatrist. That's not a job that I would want to do.
Do you remember the comment you made several episodes ago?
Oh, I did say something. Yeah.
About your Facebook rant?
Yeah.
Are they full of feet pictures?
No, Jason's trying to get me to go off on Facebook rants again. I get very aggravated with when someone posts asking for something on Facebook, asking for advice. It's typically the person that's lived in the same city for like 30 years and they're asking, where do you eat Mexican food? Go. I'm like, Jesus, here we go. But I made the comment, looking for a podiatrist. I know who to ask about a podiatrist. You call Lindsey.
That's right.
See, and that's kind of the point to the whole thing, making fun of that, is I wouldn't post that on Facebook.
You would contact somebody you know.
I would contact somebody that I know that might.
But you have a larger network than a lot of people, maybe, Chad. Did you give that a thought?
I don't think my network's that big.
That's what she said.
Network? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe that I'm old school.
You're a social butterfly, Chad.
I don't think I am. Maybe that's what it is I'm not a social butterfly.
You don't think you are, but you are.
I just have people that I trust their opinion on certain things, and I would rather ask them than go to the masses.
But I think that that's what those people are doing, is that they trust their digital network so much because for whatever reason, that they're asking their opinion on where
based
to
on
go.
election time and all the stuff that everybody's posting, I don't think I trust anybody on the internet.
Well, I think we've gotten to a point with social media for a good percentage of the population where that is their life.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And they're going to let everybody know about what they're doing every hour.
Yeah.
They're going to ask opinions every hour.
Yes.
Right? And that's probably what you're seeing.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I don't want anybody's opinion.
But going back to, this is showing other people's deficiencies, is that they have to put their self out there because they really don't have an opinion. So they're asking
maybe that
else's.
is.
Yeah.
I know. I should look at
You got to put yourself in their shoes, Chad. Come on.
But they probably don't wear the kind of shoes that I like.
They don't wear Air Force Ones.
These aren't Air Force Ones. These are Air Maxes.
My bad.
Yeah. I don't have Air Force Ones. Maybe I should get those.
Those are the gold platinum level. You have the silver platinum.
Yeah, I've got silver.
Silver Elite.
Silver Elite. Yeah. I don't know. I when I did get these shoes, I had to check with both children to make sure that I wasn't trying too hard to look young.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call, Chad.
I was like, I sent the shoes, and I was like, hey.
You got to find that balance between,
I
don't want to embarrass you, but also I don't want to fit in with you.
Yeah, like I asked my kid, I feel like they're pretty honest kids in that aspect. I'm like, look, am I going to look stupid if I wear this, or am I going to look like 40-plus-year-old dad trying too hard?
Yeah.
And Emma will tell me, I did tell her that I wanted to get a mullet, and she has said, no, Dad.
The pictures you showed me of the mullet, dude,
I showed her
like
the same
that.
ones.
I think you should go for it, man.
That could be our poll.
It's a light mullet. It's not
It's like a business casual
casual mullet. Yeah.
Maybe that should be our.
So to our
Comment on
audience out there,
Facebook.
comment on our. Should Chad get a mullet or not? And we'll put a picture up of the kind of mullet that Chad's thinking of as well.
I mean, I used to have a mullet.
By the way, Chad,
That checks out.
Your shoes are the 2024 dad version of the New Balances from 1980.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yes.
And the
Are
white
they?
socks you paired with it.
Yeah, I did that because I didn't want to wear black socks because I thought my kids would make fun of me if they saw it. Yeah, you're not supposed to. Do you know you're not supposed to wear ankle socks either?
Yeah, those are out.
Yeah, that is so not cool.
That's not cool?
No,
out.
I didn't know that.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have your ankle socks. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get on board with. It's like I'm so used to ankle socks. Yeah,
Well, our kids keep us young, right?
I think so. I think they're trying to keep us young, but mine do a really pretty good job of keeping me in check and letting me know when I'm not cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that's just your face, though, because everybody tells you when you're not being cool.
that's sad. I think
Did Lindsey just say it's your face? Your face says it all, or you're so inviting to a conversation, Chad? Everybody's
know.
willing to give you advice.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I have an inviting, happy face.
You look lost, let me tell you.
Oh, maybe I look lost.
You poor lost puppy, you, Chad.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I'm lost. and
The
I need
mullet,
help.
though, would cure all of that.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I think it would take me back to my East Tennessee roots if I
Yeah.
had a mullet.
Yeah.
I got another technology question for Lindsey. Lindsey, what is from a leadership or technology standpoint, is being in healthcare IT that much different from, let's say, retail IT to you from your standpoint?
Yeah, in my opinion, it is.
Yeah.
Because healthcare in general, I think, is really far behind the rest of the world. We move at the pace of government a lot of times, and the pace of payers. And so our resources really are dedicated to the care of the patient, first and foremost. And so IT is generally looked at as a cost center, except for in the case of healthcare IT companies that are more IT forward. So in my opinion, I do think that IT and technology are a little bit more constrained than in retail. In general, obviously, I think that you can make more money in non-healthcare industries. And so that money gives you more money to even invest back into your technology. And you can make more, I think, risks. You can take more risks in retail than you could with healthcare. So all of that, I think, goes into the fact that technology in healthcare generally is a little slower, a little slow to be adopted, and generally, safer in the sense that it's been tried and true and tested over a longer period of time, because we don't want to put patients at risk.
Is it a security risk also? Like with patient, it's not just a patient at risk, but it's a patient information at risk. Is
Yeah,
that
I think
part
that's
of what
part of
drives
it. But I mean, financial institutions also have financial data that they have to protect, and I still think that industry is still way more technology focused and forward than healthcare.
Yeah.
So I think that goes into it a little bit, but still not as much.
Yeah.
So as an IT leader, that makes it more difficult maybe for you to get things approved sometimes when you say, hey, we would love to have this technology, but because healthcare is a little further behind, maybe it's tougher for you to get those things approved?
I think that that's dependent on the company and the leadership and the way that leadership makes decisions. I think in some of my experience that would be true, but not necessarily here at Upperline. I think that we have a pretty good sense of what our alignment is to how is it going to benefit our customer or patients, how is it going to benefit the company. And that's kind of how we align decisions, is that type of ROI, not necessarily I don't want to do that because it's too new. That's not really the problem we have.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Good explanation.
Yeah.
Chad, you got any other questions for Lindsey?
I don't think so. I think she's hit everything outside of our rapid fire questions that I would be curious to know.
Yeah.
Technology and healthcare wise.
You got any questions for us, Lindsey? I mean, I know you know us pretty well, and you spent some time with Chad.
I feel like Lindsey and I worked on a project together, and I felt like we talked for about 4 or 5 months. We were like every day.
It was every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
we still keep in touch quite a bit. The project is still kind of ongoing. So yeah. And I will say one thing about Lindsey is she's not. She doesn't sugarcoat in the best way.
Oh, you can tell that for sure.
Yeah, she did, and even with vendors, and we kind of have a unique role because we're kind of marrying a vendor with a client, and Lindsey's not afraid to tell you what is needed, and that's very appreciated coming from our standpoint, because a lot of times, those are the hard questions to ever get out of somebody. Is like, hey, just tell me what you. I feel like I feel like the Notebook. What do you want?
As a vendor, we don't want it sugar-coated. Let us know what you need.
Yeah, and so many
you
people
see value in it.
Yes,
right?
And so many people in Lindsey's role, or like Lindsey's role, maybe they withhold too much information, or they don't give you everything, so you feel like it limits us on how we can help. And Lindsey is not that way. So I. From our seat, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I noticed that too, but I can't ever figure out why people withhold information. I don't know if it's.
I don't either.
They worry that they're sharing too much and they lose control or some type of perceived upper hand. But for me, all of it is a waste of time. If I know what I'm trying to solve and I want you to help me solve it, I'm going to be transparent.
Yeah. Well, coming from our seat, like, it's very appreciated. It's like, golly, because we feel like we can actually help men.
Maybe they read Art of Negotiation too much.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
I've got another question for Lindsey, if you don't mind sharing. So I think I made mention in an email to you a while back. My daughter is she's looking at University of Cincinnati as a possible spot to go to college. But you've been to Vanderbilt too, or have gone there.
Yes, yeah, UC undergrad, Vandy grad.
What would if you were going to for 4-year degree, would you choose Vanderbilt or Cincinnati? Pros and cons.
I think that it depends on the degree.
Yeah.
I'm assuming your daughter has obviously grown up here. So
She has.
Yeah. So
She would rather go out of state, I think, is her mindset right now.
yeah. So I think that's a part of it too.
Yeah.
UC is still very much a commuter school though. So a lot of people who go there are from there. Whereas Vanderbilt undergrad, they make you live here on campus, and it feels a little bit more like nobody's here. Everybody's kind of experiencing that college together. But at UC is quite a bit of people are from there.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing. It just is a thing.
Yeah.
The college, I think it matters, whatever her degree choice is.
Business, marketing, public relations.
Yeah, so I mean, I think both schools have a good business school.
Yeah.
So one is in the South, close to Dad. But I don't think there's a bad choice either way. I really enjoyed my time at UC, learned a lot. I enjoyed my time at Vanderbilt and learned a lot. So
She's very early stages and looking, but she's going up to an ID camp at University of Cincinnati in January, maybe December, I can't remember, but she's going there for soccer, right? So they have an ID camp that they put on. Kids will come, do their soccer camp. They'll get a look at kids and they decide if they want to offer them an official visit when they're a junior kind of thing, right? So she's going to do that. But she's interested in the school because apparently they have a good program around marketing, public relations, and it's north. She kind of wants to go north. So she's looking at Cincinnati, Ohio State, like UNC, Duke, some other schools in the Northeast as well. So
Jason needs everybody to buy things if she's going to go to UNC or Duke.
Duke especially.
Duke especially.
Yeah. So, but that's now. She's a sophomore. That could be completely different next year at this time.
Yeah.
So we'll see what schools, offer her an official visit.
Yeah.
And we'll see what it looks like.
There's a lot of really good corporations there in Cincinnati too that do a lot of co-op programs with UC. So especially for marketing and business relations, that is a pretty good plus.
Okay. Political science, I think, is what she wants to.
Yeah, she did say that when Jalen and I were debating.
Yeah.
She should probably do that.
Yeah. She was thinking of law, political science, one of the two.
She might want to be a lawyer.
I think she'd be a good lawyer.
I think she would too.
She totally could debate Chad on everything back and forth.
Yeah,
So.
she was fun. Jalen and I had a really fun conversation.
Yeah.
She can talk to you like an adult, so I always appreciate that of a kid.
Absolutely.
Are you really the right gauge for that?
It depends on the conversation, Lindsey. I can be adult when needed.
That you can.
I can turn adult on and off. I don't have to be adult all the time.
So what, Lindsey?
I can turn an adult on too.
Lindsey's got jokes.
Hey, I was talking to one of my good friends last night at the soccer game. Like he's turning 47 this week. Richard, you know Richard.
Yeah.
And we were talking. Well, I was saying, man, you're getting old, dude. You're about to be 50. He's like, yeah, no. Now we know what it feels like when we were younger, looking at the older guys in the coffee shop and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Our minds are still young.
Yeah.
We're just our generation.
I think so. I feel
you know what I mean? Like you're still going to be who you are. Your mind's still young. You're just going to look older.
I think so. I think I will always.
You're still going to cut up. You're still going to joke. You're still going to be that 20-year-old Chad here or there.
I hope so.
It'll just get creepier the older you get.
No, I try to avoid creepy old dude. That's that's a big fear. You ready for rapid fire questions?
I guess.
I got a last question for Lindsey.
Okay, go.
Okay, so Lindsey, what's next for you?
Ooh.
Career-wise?
Anything. Career-wise.
Do you have your resume out there?
I want to know. I want to know. We're not asking your age, Lindsey, because that would be wrong. But where's Lindsey going to be in 10 years?
You know, I feel like I'm in approaching this bifurcating path where
Oh, that's a big word.
Let me Google search that.
What the hell does that mean?
It's going to fork into two ways.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where either I can double down and, like I said at the beginning of this, I feel like I'm the acting CIO. I could really see myself taking steps to become an actual CIO. But I also think that experiencing life and as I get a little bit older here, do I want the stress associated with that, or am I kind of ready to be a homesteader, growing plants and taking care of chickens? So I see this John Galt type of decision of just walking away from it all and doing my own thing. So I'm not really sure at this point. I don't think that it has to be either or either, because and everything I do, I want to do it to the best of my ability. So I think that I'm going to continue to dedicate myself to the job that I have now and the coworkers I have, the goals that we have. But I'm also going to continue dedicating my time and just as much effort to growing as a person, no matter the circumstance that I'm in. Yeah. So that's the person I want to be in 10 years, no matter what job I have.
Great answer. That's awesome. I think we all hit that fork in the road as professionals, individuals that you made mention, like at different points in our career, right? Every 5 years, maybe every 10 years. I know for me, it's a lot of, how big do we grow this company, or do we keep it small and niche, right? That's kind of the fork in the road I'm at right now. So, but yeah, thank you for sharing that with us.
I keep buying lottery tickets thinking that fork in the road is going to lead me to retirement on the beach. Maybe.
Good.
Yeah.
Hope's not a good strategy, Chad.
No, it's not. But, we can all dream.
You can all have faith, right?
We can all have faith and dream.
Yeah.
What's meant to be will be.
For the country song?
I don't know.
It should be if it's not.
I don't know. Did I just write one? That one will go to number one.
That was Chad's what if dream job, songwriter, I think.
No, I would not be a good songwriter.
If you
I can't write poems. No, my what if dream job Well, we could go to that. Like I would I'll enjoy photography. Mm-hmm. I don't know that would be a job, but I would love to just be able to introduce kids to like hunting and fishing and the outdoors and things like that. But
like a camp counselor?
No, hell no. I don't like camping. That would insinuate you got to camp.
No, obviously yours would be a bougie camp. You've got the ski lounge that you stay at.
At Marriott's.
Yeah.
He's got the central heat and air and the Doug blind.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we do have heat. Yeah, we do have a heat. It's not central heat, but
I think that is an important thing as we get further and further away from a society, from the hunting that we used to do as kids. Yeah. Introducing that to the newer generation is a good idea.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's just not a lot of money in it.
No.
So, and we got bills to pay.
Absolutely.
So,
you ready to get to rapid fire?
Let's do it. I've been trying to do that for like 20 minutes.
Sorry about that. So each podcast, Lindsey, we do a rapid fire segment where we'll just ask you a few questions, answer honestly. You don't have to go to full length and explain yourself, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we may even have to change the name to like almost rapid fire.
Almost rapid fire.
Yeah, because depending on the answers, it makes us want to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I start us off?
You get it. If you take one of mine, I'm going to be so mad.
Lindsey, since we were just talking about it, Lindsey, what is what if you weren't doing what you do now, what would be your dream job?
I think I would have been an anthropologist. I love studying people, studying the evolution of cultures and societies.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not
definitely.
what I would have thought.
Oh yeah, I would do it. I would love studying people.
That's awesome. I like that.
Maybe when
and then telling other people about what I learned from studying people.
Yeah.
She would have a podcast too, obviously.
I would.
I thought it'd be something in horticulture when you enter, So with your love for Cincinnati sports, we need to know your Mount Rushmore of Cincinnati sports athletes. So you're 4.
Okay.
And they don't have to be the best. Your favorite 4 Cincinnati athletes of all time.
Wow. I am definitely going to be on the Burrow
Joe Burrow.
bandwagon. Yeah,
Yes.
has to be.
Joe Burrow already?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It
Okay.
has
Which
nothing
really
to do with his
like,
ability
the
on the
question
field.
is like, wow, you leap to Joe Burrow, but you've been a Bengals fan for all of these 30 plus
So
years.
he means that much to you in Cincinnati already.
I mean, I can't speak for all of Cincinnati,
Yeah.
but I can speak for me.
She's like, have you seen him?
I'm not digging the blonde lettuce right now, but he's pretty
Does he
good
have
looking,
highlights
too.
or completely blonde?
I think
It doesn't matter. Both were a wrong choice.
Okay.
So
Joey B.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I think that Joe Morgan from the Reds.
Good answer,
I know it's cool, but
Yeah.
I think probably again Johnny Bench. We were more of a Reds household than a Bengals household. Let's see. We used to have a basketball team back in the day, a long time ago, but I don't know anything
didn't
about
know
it.
that.
So I think it was in the 70s maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's
Which I'm not that old.
Yeah, you guys did.
I think so. I don't know anything
It was
about it. Though.
used to have the Milwaukee Bucks organization, I think.
I did not know that. I would have failed that trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody on it, so I can't
You
can't elect anybody.
Can't claim it.
No athletes there.
Yeah. Burrow, Bench,
Yeah.
Joe Morgan.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, maybe I'll leave the 4th one open for somebody to surprise me.
I'd have to add. Can I add one? Because I grew up a big Reds fan.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to add
Daryl Strawberry.
Barry Larkin.
Yeah.
Barry Larkin.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was at Ken Griffey Jr.'s 500th home run game, so. But that's, I'm not sure that qualifies him for Mount Rushmore.
From Mount Rushmore.
Chris
Yeah.
Sabo.
Yeah, I mean, growing up here, we've talked about it on a lot of shows. Nashville was not. We still don't have a big league team, so it was like you had to pick a team within the radius, and it was Braves, Cubs, Reds, Cardinals. Sometimes it was Brewers people because depending on who the Sounds were farming from. So by default, I got to sit. My brother always liked the Reds, so it was like Daryl Strawberry and.
You know what? I messed up. We forgot. Okay, Lindsey didn't say Pete Rose.
I didn't.
That's where I was going.
I didn't.
So does Pete Rose deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no?
Yeah, I totally think he does. Because I think you can separate athlete from vice. And sure, maybe he definitely did some wrong things, but like, who hasn't?
Yeah.
So
And I don't
Absolutely.
worship my athletes in a way that I can't separate that what you did was wrong, but I recognize that you were an excellent athlete.
So O.J. Simpson should be in the Football Hall of Fame?
No, because he wasn't as good as a football
I'm just
player.
kidding.
If he was as good, we'll have a different conversation.
So do you think that Pete Rose...
Also, murder isn't vice.
That's true. That's true.
Do you think Pete Rose, had he been a more media-friendly person after the fact, like nicer to big league, apologized to big league, like chummed it up a little more, do you think he's in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, probably, because I think the human condition is that type of politicking, and we still see it obviously in corporate America.
Yeah.
So probably.
Yeah.
I think they're, my opinion, if you want it, I'm going to give it, whether or not you want it or not.
Yeah,
But
we do.
as a parent, you have to set ground rules. If you come off of those ground rules and the kid knows that you're coming off of it, it's open for debate, discussion, that they can get by with it.
Yeah.
If MLB said, we'll let them slip in, we'll let them get by with it here, what does it do for the future? Well, that's their thought on it.
Yeah, I mean...
But what's the point of the Hall of Fame, though? Is it to showcase your character or to showcase your athletic achievement?
Well, to the Hall of Fame, you can't be disbarred or banned from the sport.
Yes,
and MLB's
but
rules.
should he have been disbarred?
Yeah,
MLB's rules where you will get banned if you bet on the sport.
Yeah.
So that's where they're coming from.
So
I get that side of it, but I do agree with Lindsey that you look at him as a ball player and he's a Hall of Famer.
So did Otani's translator bet on baseball, or did Otani bet on baseball?
Depends on if they find out for sure, then Otani's going to be banned.
They sure are
But
posting
they're
a lot of
going
pictures
to
of
hide
him.
that under the rug.
It's going to be hidden because he's the
gonna be
golden
hidden.
child right now.
Yeah, it'll be hidden.
Yeah. I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. So should Barry Bonds. But that's another,
I agree with that.
that's for
100%.
another podcast.
Lindsey, Cincinnati or Nashville?
I decline to answer.
She declines.
Because I already shared. I am blessed to be able to not have to choose between that dichotomy.
Yeah. I can appreciate
You
that.
don't have to answer. Good answer.
Red-
Whiskey and wine, Cincinnati and Nashville.
Reds or
There we
Bengals?
go.
Reds.
Poor Bengals. Poor Joey.
They know.
Skyline chili or Texas chili?
Skyline.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Why the cinnamon?
Why the cinnamon?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually a Greek style.
Okay. Maybe I'm not Greek.
I think that's clear.
I would say I would pick Texas chili.
Yeah.
That's a weird taste chili.
It's acquired, yes.
It's an acquired taste. Okay.
It's specific.
Okay. Favorite
Fragrant.
cocktail? You know what? Pick one.
Yeah, this isn't going to be rapid. Then I have to go through
Yeah.
pros and cons of each.
Yeah.
I think a Black Manhattan.
We've not had that answer before.
We have not.
Black Manhattan. Okay. Favorite place to vacation?
That's changed over the years. More recently, I've been in this mood of exotic beach location. I don't want to be around people. I do want to be around the waves.
And she said I was bougie. She said exotic beach vacation.
Did you say you want to be around waves?
Tulum.
Yeah, I don't want to
Waves,
be
not
around people. I do want to be around waves.
Gotcha.
Waves, not
Okay.
people.
Yes.
No, waves not as in like surfing waves, but ocean.
Yeah, just ocean waves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So beach girl.
I like that.
beach girl. Nowadays,
Okay.
What's your number one target for exotic beach vacations right now? Where do you want to go?
well, I'm going to Hawaii in 2 weeks, but that's not necessarily exotic. I suppose it's exotic to Ohio.
It's way better than being here in the wintertime.
Yeah.
It's exotic to a kid from East Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really like the Caribbean.
I still think
Okay.
Yeah.
the Florida Panhandle Gulf Coast is exotic.
That you do.
Yeah, I mean that's exotic to me.
Yeah.
That's good for old Gallatin boy.
Yeah, it's exotic enough.
Have you been to Tahiti in that South Pacific area?
No.
Is that on your target list? Would you like to go?
I think if I could transport there, yes. It's the flight that I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Because then you got to be trapped in with people for too long.
Exactly.
I mentioned the lottery and the Powerball. You win the Powerball, like bring home 500 million.
Great.
What does Lindsay's life look like?
Boy, I mean, I would pay back. I think my parents paid for my undergrad. I would pay them back, even though they've never asked for it.
Yep.
I would really take care of, I guess, some family members. I'd have probably a beach house somewhere to escape to. And then I think that
You say where?
Where?
Caribbean, she says. She likes the Caribbean.
Oh, that's where you
I don't know. I would probably pick someone. I don't know, actually. It would either be somewhere like Florida where I go all of the time,
Yeah.
or somewhere like Portugal or something.
Okay. I mean, you have
I'd have to do some
500
research.
million. So
Maybe one in each.
yeah, 500 million's a lot.
Definitely
It
one in
is.
each would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this weird desire to, anytime I'm driving somewhere and you see somebody pulled over and because of whatever's going on with their car, I just really want to help them every single time. I know nothing about cars, and all I could actually do is a cell phone. Can I call somebody? Which they've probably already done.
Yeah.
So I just feel bad every time and I keep driving. But I would love to.
I see them and I feel bad about them. Like, well,
That means you're
There's nothing I can do.
that means you're a compassionate human being.
So I would love to like have this huge RV, and it's just, this is my one job is I've got a mechanic on there, and stop every time that I see somebody in need and go, how can I help you?
fix the car.
Yeah, or whatever, just because you know that ruins their day.
Yeah.
They were trying to get somewhere, usually work, and their whole day is ruined.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel so bad for them, and I'd
like
love to
that.
help them. So
That says a lot about Lindsay. I can tell you, growing up, I grew up with a mechanic as a father, and you know we spent time at the racetrack. We did all these things, but something that my dad did when I was younger that like it was one of those things that drove me absolutely crazy was he was that guy. Like he
Yeah.
always stopped. always helped everybody. I can remember being like 9 and 10 years old and thinking, do we have to stop and like help fix this person's car or whatever?
Well, that's how a 9 or 10-year-old
Yes.
thinks. Yeah.
But I look back on that now and I'm like, golly, my dad is like a really good dude.
Yeah.
Like he actually cares about people and was that selfless. He still is.
Yeah.
But it's something that I can remember being like, this is stupid. Why
I
are
feel
we
like I
doing
have
this?
an opposite reaction. My father also was very kind and compassionate, not stopping to help people with cars necessarily, but anytime we'd be walking and there was a homeless man, he would always offer money and usually let one of us give it to him. I remember a couple of times my dad would bring home sometimes the oddest thing because a security guard at his building made it in their spare time. And so I always had a lot of admiration for the way that he was, a CFO at a company, but knew everybody's name and would always help anybody out. And that always made me grow up thinking everybody is a person and pay attention to all of it. I never felt bothered that my father was helping somebody.
I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I don't explain it, but I can remember thinking like, can we just get to like basketball practice or like
that's how boys are, I think.
Maybe it was.
My son's like that too.
But looking back on that now, I want to help people.
Yeah.
Like when you can, and I don't know, that's probably where it comes from. So
yeah, once you're in the moment, you're fine. As a kid, it's just that again.
Yeah. Dale Earnhardt or Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck.
That's an inside joke. For Jason's like, that's a stupid question.
Where did that one come from?
Lindsey loves a mustache, and
big
that's
mustache
like
fan.
that's like two of the most famous mustaches. Like I would think those two are classics.
Dinner date, Lindsey. Are you going with a really nice seafood place or steak house? Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
What cut?
I like the filet.
Cooked.
Medium rare.
Okay. Sides.
Mashed potatoes, especially with garlic and butter.
Okay.
And asparagus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice combo.
Yeah. I've asked this one before, and it's I think our money needs to go up because things are so expensive. But you're going on a road trip, maybe in your RV, and you walk into the gas station. Mm-hmm. What snacks are you bringing out?
I like Three Musketeers.
Okay.
It's like a bite of chocolate, but it's a bit fluffy, so I don't feel weighted down.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. Diet chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And regular potato chips.
Plain Lay's?
Yeah. Doing it.
It's good potato
and water.
Water?
Yeah.
We're going with a water?
Yep, water.
Okay. You got any others?
No.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Like I could do like the rapid fire all day long, but I like the Mount Rushmore stuff. But
yeah, thank you for spending time with us today, Lindsey.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking time out of your busy Friday.
Like it, subscribe, review.
NexGen podcast, all the socials, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Tell me if I should get a mullet.
Please do.
Haley, don't comment. I mean, Haley's going to be no, but yeah, I guess she counts.
Oh, well, if she says no, then you can't do it.
Oh, yes, I can. I'm a rebel. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.